Hey guys, it's your boy Dwayne Roberts. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Listen, I want to be in 10 minutes or less, get you in, grow you, help you level up to the next level. It's my aim, guys, to really impart to you some knowledge, to help you be successful moving forward in your ability to lead yourself. So, I'm calling this session, yeah, I'm gonna call these next few sessions, um, practitioner of leadership. You know, that's one of my core elements and things that I pride myself is that being that of a practitioner of leadership. So I remember back in some years back when I was at Colorado Christian University, and I met this professor by the name Roland Dorenzo. It's first day of class. I'm taking organizational management for Christian leadership, and so we're talking leadership. And he comes in. Roland comes in, and he says the first thing out of his mouth is in his introduction is, "I am a practitioner of leadership." Guys, I have to tell you, um, his words took me by storm. Really opened my eyes and almost took the breath out of me. I was like, "Whew, that's good," you know. And I wanted to know what that was. What did that look like? Being a practitioner of leadership, and those words really stuck with me. So, being a practitioner, a person actively engaging in an art, a discipline, or profession, especially that of medicine, and honing in and allowing those words to marinate mentally, thinking about them and understanding what it was Dr. Roland Dorenzo was saying to me was that, hey, this thing I want to engage in, I realize requires for me discipline. And if I'm going to be the professional in this element, I want to be the professional in this realm called leadership. Yeah. I have to become a practitioner of it. Meaning it's got to become part of who I am daily. It's got to be something that I practice uh, in public. It's got to be something I practice in closed doors. It's got to be intrinsically, make sure I said that right, part of my DNA. I am a practitioner of leadership. And those words were really hit core to me because it made me want to know more about who is this professor. You know, I asked this question: what are you a practitioner in? What's that thing that you're great at? What's that skill that you have that no matter what, you practice it day in and day out? You know, I wonder how many of us really get to this place where we just want to be practitioners of our passion, our craft, you know. And so connecting with Dr. Dorenzo was impactful for me. Being able to sit with him, talk with him, allow him to coach, mentor me, allow his predecessors to coach and mentor me during this stint in my growth and in my personal development, as far as being a practitioner of leadership. Yeah, being a practitioner of leadership was very important to me, to the place and point that I realized that even for myself to move, to grow, to become the person of influence that I wanted to be, it was going to require much more from me. And so often I meet leaders who have this I know attitude. They know everything they think, they believe they know everything they need to do to be the leader that they are. And it's not about challenging your ability or capability of being a leader. But I believe that when you get to a place of practicing, being a practitioner of a craft, that means for me that you are implementing these disciplines daily. This is uh, who you are or want to be made up of, you know. And so my growth with uh, Dr. Dorenzo, really helped me develop a better understanding what it looked like to have other leaders in my life who were passionate about their crafts, who were doing the same things that I wanted to do, and learn from them. For example, when I was going through school, one of my primary study was that of biblical studies. At the time I was a minister, um, coming into the nonprofit sector, growing up through ministry, being in the church. I wanted to hone my leadership. Truth is, my leadership sucked. It sucked. I wasn't the best leader. I mean, think about it. I come off for over a little over 20 years in the U.S. Army. My leadership kind of became, maybe I would say, one-sided, one-dimensional, and I wasn't growing myself to be able to effectively reach um, my team, my peers, other people in the community because of my inability to lead effectively. Understanding who I was, what it looked like to lead other people. Military gave me a one-dimensional outlook. Everything was, hey, get it done now. I don't care any means necessary, make it happen. And that was my approach when I came into the nonprofit sector as a leader. And it caused people, can I be honest, to draw away from me, resist me. Yeah, they'll hear me, they'll listen, but they didn't do what they didn't follow through because of desire. They didn't follow through because they wanted to be part of what I was doing. They followed through because personally they had their own commitments, you know. And I think one essential key for a leader is to be able not just to lead people, but lead himself. And your ability to lead yourself effectively, understanding your strengths, your limitations as a leader, and then being able to know and learn your team, the people that you're surrounded around, and how to communicate effectively is key to essential leadership. So for me, it was realizing that I needed to become a practitioner of leadership. And so I began to connect with some leaders like Dr. Carl Branker, who of carrying bread to the multitudes, who carrying bread and multitude, who was an exceptional, who is, rephrase, an exceptional leader, mentor, and coach in my life. I began to find people that I can connect with and learn how to perfect that which was important to me. So I wanted to perfect being a more effective minister. Not only a more effective minister, but realizing that ministry required me to be in a leadership position or role. And what did that leadership position or role look like? What will it take? Hold on, real quick, guys. All right, so now I'm back. I had to open the door, right? Um, my family was coming home. So getting my train of thought back, connecting with Dr. Carl Branker in my faith, in the ministry realm, to be a much more effective minister. Um, and one thing that he instilled was the application, not only to study the Bible, but the application of principles of the Word of God. You know, how are we going to apply this? It's one thing to study, it's one thing to know, but there's another element to this thing, and it's called application, you know, and being able to apply the word of God in your life really helped me formulate to be much more effective in my leadership. Gave me more practice, right? Becoming a practitioner of leadership. The word of God is a great tool for guidance and building character, moving forward, overcoming obstacles in life, trusting and believing in your faith type thing. So, and Pastor Breaker would share his knowledge while he was crafting leaders to walk in knowing and being their authentic self was key and important to your success as a minister. And so I really took those lessons from both Dr. Dorenzo and Dr. Branker and really began to not only apply or study. I didn't only study it, I applied it. and I became a practitioner of, leadership and my faith. So my question, who in your community can you connect with to help you better grow or groom or understand what it looks like to become a practitioner of your craft? Some other people that I took some influences from were people like John Maxwell, where John Maxwell is quoted saying, leadership is being the person others will gladly follow. Um, Man, that's important just to think leadership is being the person others would gladly follow. To be to become the person that people will follow really requires self-awareness about you, about your capability to lead yourself, your capability to lead others, as well as influence them to a common goal or task. I always call this man John. Jim Rohn is another influential leader that I studied. I read his material to better help me become more effective in my leadership. And he's quoted saying, the only way it gets better for you is when you get better. Just that simple. Better is not something you wish, it's something you become. You know, we all desire to become better at something. Maybe you want to become a better parent. You want to become a better mother. Maybe you're interested in becoming a better teacher. You might want to become much more influencing leader, better. You might want to become a better business owner. The key element here is not so much what you know, but how are you going to become better? How are you going to apply the knowledge that you've learned and begin to put it into practice daily? Another influential leader that I studied and truly admire is Eric Thomas. Yep, the hip hop preacher. He's quoted saying, "You will not experience all life has to offer you, or begin to experience the life at its fullest as long as you are satisfied with being mediocrity, or being satisfied with mediocrity. There it is. Being satisfied, being mediocre. When I think about that, so often leaders don't grow to become effective. We get in this place and point, this stalemate where we think or know who we are, or we know leadership, we know what we need to do, but just knowing doesn't make us better. Just knowing isn't the key. And if we just have a I know attitude, I think we stay in a place of mediocrity. Yeah. We stay in a place of mediocrity. And you have to get out of that place of mediocrity of just knowing what to do, just knowing how I should do something and never applying it. You'll never grow outside of mediocrity. And so, and many leaders, when I engage them, when I meet with them, the first thing leaders share with me is, "Oh, I know." Yep. And we believe that we know that knowing, we believe some leaders believe that it's in your knowing that's where the power is. Well, I know. So I know what to do. I got it. But we never put the principles in practice. We never apply what we've learned. I know, I know, I know, I know what I need to do. Knowing doesn't give you the results that you so desire. So my answer to those who all often say to me, "I know," is what my answer for you. I'm not only what. Oh, it's. I'm trying to read my notes, and I'm like, I wrote that wrong. It's not only what you know, but what knowledge are you applying in your leadership daily? See, knowing isn't the power. Applied knowledge is where the power lies. So how are we applying that knowledge in our life? See, this, my friends, is why I personally myself became a practitioner of leadership. I didn't just want to know. I wanted to be better. I wanted to become more influential. I wanted to lead more effectively. Yeah. Not just in the organizations and establishments that I was in, but from John Maxwell's point of view, leadership is in every aspect of life. So I wanted my leadership in every aspect of life to be influential, whether that was in my home, how I led my family, whether that was in my community, how I led the different organizations that I was a part of, whether that was in my church as a minister, how was I leading, or whether that was in my own business perspective, how was I leading in my own business? How was I leading in my health? Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's in every aspect of life. And so what I've learned over time was that for me to be a better leader in my home, it was going to require a discipline from me, meaning that I no longer just bark orders or dictate it. Now I had to be mindful, understanding of others' position, or not even position, of others' influence on me. How did they lead? You know, what was their skill level in being able to lead our family? And when you think of, you saying, when you're talking about teenagers and kids. Kids can't lead you. No, they can't. But we can influence how they lead by how we lead. So if I was always barking orders, my kids would probably grow up barking orders. But because I learned to as a leader for myself, listen, I understand I need to correct this behavior, and for me to be more influential in my leadership, I need to practice this inside my home as well as outside of my home. And so I began to change up my leadership behavior style. Yep. I changed up my leadership behavior style. And when I began to change up my leadership behavior style, now it became more apparent that now my 10-year-old, my 12-year-old, my 15-year-old didn't mind coming to talk with dad because they knew dad would listen and not bark. They knew dad wouldn't tell them what to do, but mentor or coach them through. What do you think you should do? How do you think you should approach this situation? What do you think will be the best way to navigate what you're experiencing? And it was those tools that which helped me better connect, communicate, and lead my family. So not knowing isn't the power, but applied knowledge is the power and key to being effective in your leadership, becoming a practitioner of leadership. So think of about it like this. Ali didn't just become, or just let's say this, Ali didn't just know boxing. Yep, Muhammad Ali became a practitioner of his craft. He practiced it day in, day out. He got better. Yeah. He recognized how he can jab with a bit more power, how he can throw the left hook if he maybe shifted his weight. I mean, whatever the case may be, he practiced becoming the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Think of it like this. Michael Jordan, he didn't just know basketball. He was a practitioner of his skill set. Yeah. Let's take LeBron. Let's take Kobe. They just didn't know basketball. See, in the off season, they realized that they had to get some coaching. They had to get around other people who knew how to do things a little different than they did. They honed in on their skill sets. They didn't say, "Well, I already know how to dribble the ball. I already know how to preach. I already know how to lead." No, they took those fundamentals and they built upon that skill level. They enhanced that skill level. They became better at handling the ball. They became better at shooting the ball. They became better at running up and down the court full speed, make the shot, come back, play defense. They became better. They became crafted in their skills. And how many of us are taking the time to become better? Are we looking for coaches or mentors to help us and groom us so we can be more effective in our craft? Are we ignoring the other leaders or coaches who have a skill set, who have the desire, the passion, the training, have taken the time and become practitioners of the craft, and we avoid them because we know leadership, because I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this longer than you, so I know how to do what I'm doing. But yet you stuck. I'm talking to you. Think about it. Knowing doesn't elevate you to be the GOAT. Knowing doesn't elevate you to be the greatest of all time. However, becoming a practitioner of your craft, becoming a practitioner of your skill set, becoming a practitioner develops you to become the greatest of all time. Practice day in, day out, behind closed doors, in the open. You're practicing, you're building a discipline, you're becoming a professional, you're developing the skill set, the fundamentals of what it takes to be the best, to be the most effective on the court or in your organization, as well as in your homes. We want to be the GOAT. The practitioner becomes the GOAT of his craft. For you to be the GOAT requires you to simply become the practitioner. So I want to say to you leaders out there, and you that was listening, I am a practitioner of leadership. I wasn't always the best at it, and I'm still not the best at it. But every day I study, I apply what I've learned behind closed doors, as well as in the open in my community. I teach, I coach, I help leaders become more effective by recognizing one, becoming self aware, two, by recognizing their strengths, three, by recognizing limitations, and honing those things so they can be more effective in their approach and how they lead. I want to encourage you, don't just know what to do, but become the person of practice. And by practice, you'll become the GOAT. You'll be getting to become the GOAT in your home, with your family. You can become the GOAT on your job, amongst your peers. You can become the GOAT in your community or within your organizations. You can become the GOAT amongst your friends. Just that simple. Hey, I'm your boy, Dwayne Roberts, and I encourage you, don't just know your craft, become a practitioner of your craft. And I am a practitioner of leadership. Listen, guys, you can join me every Thursday evening, 7 p.m. via Zoom. Be sure to check the link in the box, register for the upcoming I Am a Practitioner training. Every Thursday evening, 7 p.m., I'll be coaching or training, becoming a practitioner of leadership. Be sure to register and let's learn. Let's begin to grow and know and practice together. I'm your boy, Dwayne Roberts. And I say, success is in your hands. It's up to you what you do with it. God bless.